Welcome to I Partied with Your Mama, your new favorite podcast. Here's your host, Jessie Daly. And don't forget to follow and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. You don't want to miss this shit.
I think the best way to honor someone is to really get to know them, not your version of who they should be, not just their best parts, and without judgment. When she died, people told me she would visit me. I waited, paid attention. I was quite desperate. I believe it happens for some, but it wasn't happening for me. So when she didn't show up in my dreams or whatever, I felt I needed to process my grief and just live in it fully, messily. And it got really messy, but organically, I needed to see where it would take me. I'm not religious at all, but my ass surrendered. I think as soon as I decided to do that, I allowed that to happen, my whole life shifted into this world of curiosity of her and discovery for myself. It's not lost on me that this is somehow her way of showing up for me. She's my mother. She knows I'm lost. Again, she was there all the times before, and I probably had more than my fair shake in the dark. I think it pisses her off. She can't be here for me now. So anyway, I just remembered, buy the ticket, take the ride. And my hope is that I will not only discover who she truly was at her core, but I will get to love all of her in the process. I'm not sure if anyone other than her parents ever did that for her. And aside from her, I'm not sure anyone's ever done that for me. Maybe in the end, I will face who I really am to my core, like all of it, and somehow love me anyway. So, yeah, this is how I'm going to honor the fuck out of her. Today's guest is going to help me do just that, and it's my sister Dawn. I think all mothers deserve it, all women, humans in general, but I mean, let's be real, especially your mom. This is my sister Dawn. I'm welcoming her to the show via her cockpit, aka her bed. Oh, your cockpit. Oh my God. There's a joke. You're not in a kid's bed, are you?
No,
Oh, good.
definitely not.
Well, I got our clip.
I also
Man,
kicked my cock out of the room.
he'll get his turn. So I'm super stoked to finally have you on the show. I know you've been avoiding me, but you can't do that forever.
I mean, I could keep trying.
You could, but I nailed you down today. We're drinking. So okay, we're back. We had some technical difficulties.
For sure.
I just want to get into it. You know what the show is about. And if you're a new listener, you're about to find out what the show is about. We are rehashing stories of our upbringing and our childhood, and also stories about our mothers, who these women were, and give them a little bit of credit for having to do the job that nobody else wanted to do.
As if they knew what they were signing up for.
None of them had any idea, even though someone had done it before them. They were like fucking bamboozled. What do you mean all the time?
Right. That would be grandma.
Yeah.
Wait, another
And 6. That's why she didn't ship any out. They all stayed at home, although they went to Catholic school. So it's kind of the same thing as shipping them out.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about, because we have a million, well, I mean, between us, we have a million stories, but I only have half a million because I don't remember anything.
I was gonna say shit. I don't remember.
You
I
do,
think
though.
some pictures or something, or some sort of hint, and then it comes back. But I can't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got to jog a memory. So
unlock it somewhere in there.
in the torture vault.
Something.
But when Dawn and I were cleaning out our mother's house, we went through, speaking of pictures, thousands of
Right.
photos, and it was a really crappy time, but it was really cool because we got to start talking about these things that we saw in pictures, and most of the stuff that you knew, I didn't know.
Those whole 2 years I have on you.
I know, which is weird because it's literally 2 years.
I know. I
Like,
know.
it seems like I should remember a lot more than I do. But seeing pictures, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember one person in there.
Right.
So I thought that was kind of cool, and that's kind of how this whole thing got started. Well, I guess more so with those letters that we found in her vanity. We could talk about those another time, but so I wanted to first hear like what you remember from like the beginning. Do you remember ever being in a home with two parents?
You mean our original two parents?
Yeah, I guess I should let me clarify. The people that had us. I guess we can't really call them parents.
Biological DNA.
Our mother, our parent, and that guy. Because my first, or maybe it was my second podcast, I talked to Pam Sears, who was one of the three Pams that was in the house with mom when I came home from the hospital. So, do you ever remember a time when your parents were living in a house
No,
together? No.
not. I wouldn't say. I mean, other than looking at pictures and whatever, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's a memory that I have. I don't. No, I can't say
Yeah,
that I
because you were
remember.
so little. I mean,
Yeah, we were. Oh, I mean, you were a baby, but yeah, I was two. So, and I think memories don't start what 3-ish or so for most people, somewhere in that 3 and the 4, something like that.
mine is like 12. I was about 12 years old. I'm stunted. uh, but so do you remember the house with all the Pams?
Yeah,
Not at all.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a haunted house.
Household hands sounds.
Three of them.
Well, I mean, I know, but I didn't know that they all were when, and I was there.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
no, I don't know
they
anything about that.
literally lived to like when I came home from the hospital, three Pams were living in the house.
Where was our dad? He still lived there.
No, that's when he left. I mean, maybe it was at 6 months or something.
Yeah, that's where
Because,
I'd put you.
well, I guess it was October. So you do the math.
I don't know. You were chunky, so in the pictures, it's hard to tell your age.
I was born chunky. But yeah, so I was born in July, and in October, it was three Pams because that was the Halloween photo that I found. And I don't remember what house it was
It was
behind.
the one we grew up in.
It was that one?
It had to have been because mom and I thought they were together when they bought that house that we live in, that we grew up in, because they had the one on by Dairy Queen, but I'm pretty sure
What's the one that
shit.
Pam Sears
No, no,
lived?
no. I think I was 5 when we got that house. Never mind. I was probably older, so that was probably after dad.
Yeah. So it was this other house. Pam Sears lived kind of kitty corner, and her husband had separated, and he stayed in that house, but Pam lived with our Pam and the other Pam and
Mm.
you and me,
Where was
and
Art?
that he was living in the house. They had separated, so he was living just kind of across the street, I guess, and she moved in with mom and you and me, and that other Pam moved in, and it was Halloween time, so
I don't think I knew this part.
like I was like 3 months old.
Yeah, 7. Yeah, 3.
Must have been a fat baby.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it was later when mom bought the other house. I don't know why I thought mom and dad had bought that, but I guess not. Because I do remember being older when we moved in there. I don't remember. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I remember moving in there, but I guess it would be older because we lived in Vegas before we moved into that house. Because you were still, how old were you in Vegas? 3, 2, or yeah, I'm pretty sure we bought that. I'm pretty sure that house was when I was 5. I felt like I was 5 when we moved into that house, so
So your first kind of memories as far as, like, living situation, would you say was Vegas?
definitely that house. I don't remember anything. I mean, I vaguely remember Vegas. I do remember some of Vegas, not a ton, but I do remember some of Vegas. When you tried to kill me in your sleep. That I will never forget.
What did I do? I was 2 years old, by the way.
Yeah, well, you were going to kill me. You were having some sort of nightmare and you were beating the shit out of the wall, pretending it was me, well, yelling at me, and you were just being really, really mad.
I was kicking your ass and I was 2 years old?
Well, you were kicking a wall, not me. You were very mad at whatever it was, but you were taking that out on the wall, but pretending it was me, because all I know is you were yelling at me. And that was in Vegas.
And we lived with mom and Aunt Sandra, right?
Right.
How long did we live in Vegas?
Months, I think. I don't think it was a whole year. Not that I'm
Why did
aware of. I'm not
why
sure.
did we leave, do you know?
I think they both just wanted to change, something
No, I
different.
mean, why didn't
Oh,
we
Vegas?
stay in
Oh,
Vegas?
I don't know why we left. Why we came home? I don't know, because mom, as far as I knew, she liked it there with that jewelry store and all that stuff. But didn't Scott Scott moved up there too? No, because wasn't when they had their pool cleaning business, wasn't that in Vegas too?
No, I think that was Palm Springs.
Oh, that was Palm Springs, right? No,
I
yeah, I don't know. I think it was just who knows why we came back. I don't know. Maybe it just got too difficult for the two of them, or
I
who knows?
read
Maybe they couldn't get along, and they.
but I read something somewhere. God, where was it? One of the many journals or calendar thingies, that it was like a court thing with the divorce.
Well,
Like
that would
sh
make sense because we were in another state, so
yeah,
I could see that.
like he's like, "I don't want them, but, like, you can't leave." That's kind of the gist of what I got, but I don't really know. I guess Sandra would know best,
Yeah, she would
probably.
probably have a better idea of why they moved back, but I don't know that we made it a whole year. I don't think, but yeah, that would make sense. Because we would have been in Nevada and had to come back to Arizona because she took us out of
Right,
state if that wasn't official yet or whatever.
right. That's crazy. Well,
Although
I'm
I
gonna
don't know because if you were two, wouldn't the divorce have already gone through by then? I mean,
I don't know. I don't know anything.
should look that shit up. It's public.
I'm pretty sure that's the reason why we ended up having to turn around, you know?
Custody things. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe. Huh. I don't know.
I'm taking notes.
Good idea. Although I feel like the divorce was after you were two or so. That's why when you said that he was already out of the house when you were born, I was like, that doesn't sound right. Because I'm pretty sure they divorced when I was 4 and you were 2. And I think that's when she had to leave that house. Because they probably had to sell the house as part of the divorce agreement.
Right?
Because they both owned it. So I'm sure the house was sold and then split, the whatever, and then maybe she went to Vegas when all that was happening. I don't know. And then maybe that's when she bought the house when she came back.
Oh, yeah.
Somewhere in the between my 4 and 5 years, something like that. I mean, I know for sure I was living there at 5 because I went to kindergarten, from that house. So I know that part for sure.
So that's kind of more of like your where you're established is our childhood home, which she
Yeah,
had until what, 5 years ago?
right. It's probably longer than that now. I think because she was in that other house
Oh,
for
yeah, and
she was there for quite a few years. It's crazy how fast that stuff when you have to put the timeline on it, you're like, no. Yeah, it was I don't remember what year it was that she sold that house. Also public knowledge or public
yeah,
information
but
so
I
you can
think
find
that
it.
was 2018 is probably when she sold the
Probably.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. Well, we have some research to do on that first little
Well, and
tidbit.
we didn't live there the whole time either, so, we moved out of that house several times and back into the house several times. So,
Yeah, I'm glad she didn't sell it in between there. Do you remember when we moved out the first time?
like with Russell,
Yeah. Oh, I guess we should talk about the marriage first.
which one?
So
We
oh my
have so
god, how am I gonna
much.
how am I gonna pick which clip to use?
The marriage.
The second one.
The second one. Okay.
So
Well, we weren't around for the first ones. Well, we hardly made the
that's
second
true.
one either.
Yeah, she made sure we weren't around for the second one.
Yeah, she kind of kept that one on the DL for sure.
So when Dawn and I were going through stuff at our mom's house, I can't remember if we found like a note or something or photos when we started talking about her marriage in Vegas. Maybe
Was it the thing that like gave authority to Scott and Sandra? No, no, no. What was it that we found? No, I can't remember. I was thinking it was something that like where she signed over if something happened to her rights to us or something.
she's like, if anything, if I don't come back.
But right, were we with Scott and Sandra?
No, because I think you thought we were, but then you
But
thought
Scott
maybe
Sandra was
they
with
were
them.
there.
Yeah.
So we were with our grandparents, maybe.
Oh. Yeah, she wouldn't have signed our rights over to.
They were just the mediators. Like, if anything happens to me, here,
Well, they couldn't have possibly
open
known what
this
was gonna
letter.
happen either, because there's no goddamn way they would have agreed to that shit.
Yeah, I'm not watching your fucking kids so you can get married.
I would love to know what the story was she gave. 'Cause there's
Yeah.
no way she told him the actual what she was doing.
So, do you know if they dated for a while?
No, I have
Do
no
you
idea.
remember him? I mean, do you remember him before he was like the guy that we lived
No,
with? No.
not really. I remember being pissed when they got home and said they got married.
Yeah, so that maybe we were looking at like my wedding announcement because it was in Vegas and we started talking about mom getting married in Vegas.
Maybe.
But so she went on a trip, she got rid of us,
Right.
and we don't know how old we were. What year did they get married? Do you know?
No. Early 80s?
Is this public record too? Should I have done more research?
I mean, well, I don't know, because that's Nevada, so not sure how that works out. Oh, wait, I have that stuff. In
Y-
mom's file. I'm
You
pretty
do?
sure. Well, I have the divorce one. I'm assuming the wedding one is in there too.
Does the divorce say when they got married?
Maybe.
Is the file buried?
Uh-uh.
You can go
I
get
think
it.
it's in this file right here. Here we go. Oh, shut up. It's a certificate. 83. See, I was right. Oh, you're gonna love this. July 5th.
July 5th, 1983. So she probably said, I'm going out of town for the 4th of July.
Look whose signatures are here at the bottom.
Scott and Sandra.
Yes.
Oh my God. You know, it's kind of funny. I'll cut this out of the podcast in case your kids still don't know, but it's kind of funny that
Oh,
she
no, they
had
know.
oh, they do?
Yeah.
My sister had a secret marriage in Vegas as well as her mother and me. Wow, that's weird. I never really thought about that.
Huh. Let's see. Here's the divorce court. Uh, Divorce. Where's the date? May 9th, 1986. So what's that? 3 years? No, 6 years.
No,
Actually,
83, 86, right?
oh, shit.
3 years, not even.
Are you serious? Why does it seem like it was way longer than that?
Because it was terrible. So they got married in my birthday month and divorced in your birthday month. You think she did that on purpose?
I doubt it. Let's see. Well, no, this says they started it, they petitioned it on the 16th day of April 1986. That's when it was filed. And this must be after they had to wait or something. Oh no, this is the property settlement agreement was May 9th.
Property? Didn't we live in a fucking trailer?
Well, mom still owned her house.
Didn't she get to keep it?
So it says that she kept the house and her Datsun and the 68 Jeep.
Do you have her other divorce papers?
No, I don't think I've ever seen those. I don't think I do have. Yeah, this is all Russell's stuff. Let me see. Marriage license. Oh, here's the marriage license for the other third one.
Ugh, I will not name his name.
And here's the divorce decree for that one.
But what are the dates though?
Okay. Marriage was March 21st, 1997. Oh, no, sorry. That's when they got Marriage certificate, March 22nd. So the license was the 21st. The certificate was the 22nd, 1997. The date of this says May 21st, 2001.
What?
The divorce. And then it says, looks like it was finalized on August 7th, 2001. So they entered it in May and finalized in whatever I just said, August.
Do you know how many years she was married the first time?
They were married before, they were married at least 2 years before I was born. I'm pretty sure. What is this? 1990. Here's that letter I was talking about where she signed over our rights to Scott and Sandra.
In 1990?
Uh-huh. In case of
What the
death
hell was she
or
doing then?
incapable of caring for my two daughters, I so will full custody. I do so will that full custody be given to my brother Prescott and his wife. It is my will that they become the executors of my estate, including all bank accounts, personal, blah blah blah.
1990? She wasn't even married then. What was she doing?
Let's see. This was September 10th, 1990. Oh, she was going to give her life insurance to grandma, though. What life insurance? Apparently, only until we reached the age of 19, and then after that, we were able to get everything else.
So it's like a handwritten letter that she. Oh my gosh, hold on a second. So the paper that you found, it was just like a handwritten letter.
Yep, it's a 2-page handwritten letter.
Does it say where she was going?
No.
1990. What was the date?
September 10th, 1990. No, nowhere in here does it say anything about what she was going to be doing. Just that if something were to happen, everything went to us, Scott and Sandra, and Grandma. Well, we don't get anything till we were 19, it says.
You were closer than I was.
Me before you. I know, in 1990, I was like right there.
Yeah, that's weird. So you're like a what, sophomore
Yeah.
in high school? Where the fuck
Exact-
did she
yeah.
go?
I don't know. When did I say she married dipshit?
You're listening to my mom on your new favorite podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to I Partied with Your Mama.
97?
Oh, so, and I don't think she dated him for that many years. Maybe it had something to do with Ray. Maybe her and Ray went somewhere. They might have went out of town somewhere or something, so she was just covering her bases.
Are we sure she didn't marry him?
Yes, we're sure.
Yeah, that's weird. The only time I've ever signed anything like that over was when you had Quattro because I flew to Vermont and that's where Eddie was.
When you left him with me when he was 3 months old and I never slept because I was afraid he was going to die in his sleep?
That's the time. You're like, fuck, I don't want this kid. He's broken.
No, we're like, I hear babies fall asleep and die all the time. I haven't
my
had
God.
any of kids of my own, so who knows what's gonna
But that
happen.
was the only time I ever signed anything because we were both in the same place and we were taking a plane together back.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, well, usually we're never together. So I didn't have to, but that time I did.
Yeah.
He cried the whole time.
No.
Oh,
No, when he was sleeping, I was afraid, I just kept getting up in the middle of the night, checking on him, make sure he was still breathing.
like a Sid scare.
Yeah.
All I remember about that trip is being in the hotel and he was 3 months old. So I was still breastfeeding.
Uh-huh.
And my tits were so big and painful.
I can imagine.
And I didn't know that would happen. Like, I
Yeah.
was just like, I'm going to be gone for like, what, 36 hours or something? What's the big deal? Well,
It's
let
a
me
big
tell you,
deal.
ladies, it's a big fucking deal. And I had to get in the shower at the hottest water I could stand.
Ugh.
And Eddie had to help me like express milk from my boobs just so I could go hang out at the show, like
Right.
just so I could go like be social because I was in so much pain. And I wasn't drinking really because I was breastfeeding so much. But that night I was in so much pain, I got shit housed. Because I was like, it's the only thing that's going to fix it, or I won't even care. Breast pump.
Yes.
There's a
For
reason
sure.
why they make them. Well, yeah, so I definitely
Sorry,
get to.
detoured.
I know we detoured, but I need to figure out where she went in September of 1990 and why she thought she was going to die. Why did she?
And we
We
were
were
teenagers,
old.
so yeah.
We'd been taking care of ourselves for years. We would have
Um,
had to emancipate ourselves
yeah.
and be like, we're going to be okay.
Yeah, it's yeah, that's the only thing I can think of is that she had to have been going on a long trip or out of the country or something, and she thought that that would be. I mean, obviously, it's not like we were on our bank accounts or anything back then, so or anybody was. It was, in '90, she wasn't married to anybody at that time, so.
Yeah, fucking shocker. Well, I feel like we have to button up these two other things on the next podcast. But I want to talk about this incident, which again was brought up during that time we were going through our house. You were like, don't you remember? Don't you remember that rollover truck? Like, we lived out
Oh,
in the counties, which was beyond the city limits, and my mom got us like horses and fucking pigs and ducks for a minute. And she tried
hot
to do
minute.
yeah, she tried to do the country life with us. And apparently one evening she had to drive into town to go to work and take us to school. One evening we were going home and we rounded a corner or something.
Airport loop.
So tell me the story. Was it nighttime?
I would say it was dusk. I don't know if it was completely dark yet. It was definitely gonna be dark if it wasn't dark yet. So headlights are on for sure. Yeah, I just remember we came around the corner. There was a car, or not even a car. It was like a little truck type thing. Had you could tell it had rolled. Um, and we were the first ones there. Nobody else had shown up yet, so we pulled over. I just recall pulling up. The guy was bleeding from his head. They told me to go get something like out of the vehicle, and I don't even know what we were driving. Probably the Bronco would be my guess. Not sure what we were in. Anyways,
Was the truck
um,
upside down or you could just
um,
tell it had rolled?
you could definitely tell it had rolled. I can't remember if it was back on its on the thing or not on all four tires. I don't remember much about the truck. I mean, honestly, the thing that glares at me is the guy bleeding from his head because of course,
I
yeah,
imagine.
we were relatively young. That's not something that I'm used to seeing. Hadn't been volunteering at the hospital yet, so I didn't see all the blood and guts just yet. And then I just remember after they were putting pressure on that guy's head, that's when mom like, get all the beer bottles and cans up and everything and telling us to collect them all because this fucking idiot that rolled had of course been drinking and driving and our mother didn't want them to get in trouble for it.
Right. I mean, there's so many fucked up things about it. I think it's kind of cool that they stopped because
Oh yeah.
nowadays, like we were talking, so many people would see an accident and be like, not my business,
Right.
or they
Here,
would,
I'll call it in for you.
yeah, like with cell phones, like you could just call it in and make yourself feel like you helped. But like she just runs out and
Yeah,
starts
no.
wrapping up some guy's head
Yeah,
because
and honestly, no idea what happened to him. I mean, we stayed until somebody, and I don't even know, fuck, I don't even know how ambulance or anybody came. I mean, because again, before cell phones. And then at that point in time in the counties, I mean, there was very few people that lived out in the counties. It was still, you know, way underdeveloped.
right.
And literally it's behind the airport, so there's nothing over there. There's just desert and that's it. I mean, there's just nothing for a while. So no, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. I don't know. I honestly can't tell you if we ended up loading the guy up and taking him to the hospital. I mean, because it's not like the hospital was probably what, 15 miles, maybe 10 miles. I don't know. From there, it wasn't like crazy far. Because it would be more sense to take him than it would be to like go drive somewhere to call to have somebody come get him. Because seriously, it's about the same amount of, to drive to somebody's house to make a phone call or whatever, or to a phone booth is about the same distance.
Yeah. Where did we put the beer cans?
Oh, probably in our Bronco or whatever the hell we were driving. Because, that would make it better.
Like, we have this injured guy. All these beer cans fall out of our truck. We didn't do it. We helped him. It's wild. That's such a,
Wow.
like, a knee-jerk reaction on their part. What the fuck?
They were definitely putting themselves in his shoes. Like, oh shit, this was us.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we moved back into town? Like,
I mean,
why?
not specifically, other than, that we moved back to the same house and then I
Did they
continued
just
going to same high school.
break
Then I
up
turned
and
16 and I got a car. After that, I remember a lot.
you're like, that's when my memory started? Did they break? So was that property, did they buy it together?
Yes.
Why did she do that shit?
I don't
Like,
know.
over and over and over.
Well, and that must be about when they broke up, and that's why we moved back to town because then they had to sell the property. So that's one of her biggest regrets is that they sold that property.
Oh, that's her biggest regret?
Well, no, I mean, I'm just saying, I remember that one being a huge one because she was so pissed that they had to sell it because, eventually those properties ended up becoming a lot of money. They're very hot commodities out there. So, and it was a freaking acre and a half or something, acre and a quarter, I don't know, 2 acres. It was a decent sized property. So but yeah, when they broke up is when we moved back to the house in town. And that's why we moved back.
I don't remember that. I remember living out there.
Hmm.
I do not remember moving back.
No.
I just remember being back. But I like the transitional times of like, it's weird.
I remember certain things about the county, you and your goddamn kittens.
Oh, the kittens.
The kittens. And bunnies.
I know. We had all kinds of animals. It was so great. Didn't I have 2 cats that had kittens at the same time?
Oh my god, there were so many fucking kittens in the
Yeah.
bathtub.
Yeah. Lots and lots of animals.
And
And
those
a
things are
pig.
very annoying. Oh my god. And we had to share a bed. Not only did we share a room, we shared a bed.
No wonder you didn't like me. You're like, get the fuck away from me, dude. So you don't know when we moved out there?
So you were doing 4-H at like that when you were like 9. Yeah, so 10, 11, and then I was so probably that's when we were when we moved out there, probably around that time. So we're out there what 3, 4 years, 5 years, maybe. I mean, we were definitely in the house when I turned 16 and we were back in town. Oh no, Mom was still with Ray because so they hadn't broke up. I wonder why we moved back in town then. I was thinking Ray and her must have broke up, and that's how come we moved back in town. But that can't be the case because when I turned 16, my car, Ray is the one that helped get it because that's when he worked at Estes Insulation. And that's how I got that's where they hid it and whatever when they were getting it ready. So I don't know why we moved back in town, why they sold that house and we moved back to town now. It's weird. I don't have the explanation for that one.
Interesting. Maybe these R dudes overlapped.
No, I don't think that's it. It was definitely Ray. I just don't remember.
Ray was the county dude, right?
Right. But then he did live with us back at town because I know for sure my Camaro, he's like
Your bitchin' Camaro.
got it together and was there at my 16th birthday when I got that car. I don't know how long. I don't know how long he lasted before he was gone.
Maybe he just did her a solid.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. He just really liked me and wanted to give me a car.
He was nice, but wasn't he all jacked up on coke most of the time?
Yeah, well, weren't they all jacked up on something all the time? Roy was the next one, and I don't remember. I mean, I didn't really like him, but I was older, so I don't think
He was such a creep.
He was a dork.
Who's the guy that fixed the car? I thought that was Ray.
That was Ray. That was Ray.
Okay. He was more tolerable. Roy was not.
Roy was annoying.
He was so annoying.
Not near as bad as was literally the worst.
I'm going to bleep that guy's name out of this podcast. But Roy is the one, when I met one of his friends that came over one night to the house, I had already met him at a party. He was like the drug dealer.
Nice.
She was always looking for love, but she had the worst picker of them all.
Oh, God, I know.
You can't be good at everything. That's something I've learned the hard way.
Yeah, she definitely was not good at finding a man worth a damn.